What a great night, eh? Great company, good booze, better laughs. The, skooma nightcap wasn't bad either. After Inigo went to bed, of course. What a memory. That portrait could do with a new frame.
Greetings!
Whoa! Bleeding heck. Frighten me to bleeding death, why don't you?
Did I startle you? Oh, look at that. You all look so adorable in that portrait. You know, you are a lot of things, Norton. But a bad friend isn't one of them. So, I see you met Master Warburg. Awfully dull, isn't he? And what did he call me, Jazago? Insufferable. Oh, the gall. Hold your tongue before you consider agreeing with the man.
Where have you been? You had me worried.
Busy.
Where?
I can't tell you where, you not knowing my precise movements outside this place, that's the entire point. It's not a question of your character, or you at all, but rather who's watching you. You've got questions. Fine, ask them, and I'll tell you if I can answer them. I can tell you what I was doing, acquiring more artifacts for the quest. Mostly. If I had more time, I could have retrieved more than I did, but my projected calibrations assure me that may not be necessary. We don't need all the artifacts, Norton. I just need enough of them.
Enough? Enough? This is a change of tune. Enough for what? Whatever this greater good of yours means today.
I do apologize for making you run in circles like this.
No. At first it was about keeping these artifacts safe, right? Then I just did what needed to be done even though I didn't know why I were doing it. Now you speak of them like they're some sort of fuel. Or energy.
Very observant of you.
Yeah, like enough oil for a lantern, enough wood for a fire, enough souls for a gem, yeah? I know you said you wouldn't level with me, but hey, I'm starting to catch on, aren't I? It's written all over your face.
Look, the sacrifices you've made so far, the difficulties you've had to overcome, it's been touching. And although you may not believe me, instead choosing to believe I wanted to speed up the progress of the quest, I saw what you were going through, and I wanted to contribute to your effort.
Go on. What artifacts did you get then?
Just a few. Nowhere near as many as you, but the Blade of Woe, for one. It's a Dark Brotherhood artifact. Also, I managed to acquire some pieces related to the Nightingales. Not exactly true artifacts, but nonetheless, fact or fiction, some may ask. Look in that vault, and you'll know they are very real.
Right. Many did you have to kill to get those?
Kill? I actually have finesse, you know. Not everyone is a brute. You expect that a man of mystery like myself, with multiple lifetimes worth of knowledge and magical prowess, would simply beat my problems over the head until they went away?
Well, it's a lot easier. You should probably trust me on that. You should try it sometime.
No. I instead engineered the perfect scheme. It took me away for a long while, but it was with good reason. Research, scouting, planning, plotting. There were one or two instances where I requested Jazago help me in locating the right artisans for the scheme. So, here and there he had to leave your side at short notice. Sorry about that. The end result? The fair maiden who flaunted the Blade of Woe still believes she carries it. And why wouldn't she? The dagger she now carries looks the same, has the same basic enchantment. In fact, from the lengthy encounter we had, she didn't seem to care for the traditions of the Brotherhood at all. So why would she notice anything was amiss? The powers that be in the Brotherhood may well notice, but she's hardly one to convene with them. Oh, the things a mysterious old man can get away with.
You did all that for one artifact? You've gone through a lot of trouble there to be that careful. What else did you get?
The Nightingale Trove was less impressive. I was after an artifact known as the Skeleton Key, but had to settle for lesser items in the end. More scouting and pattern recognition there. What would you call it? Thinking outside the box, peering into the shadows. Safe shadow marks, the shadow standing stone, a love for metaphor, and a little intuition. That's all it took to find the cave that held the trove. You will have answers for all this mysteriousness before this is all over, Norton. Mark my words. Well, some answers. I am well aware I've been obtuse throughout our time together. But be warned, there are some things you can never know while I'm here, for your own safety, as well as mine. You know, Norton, I'm rather beginning to miss your company. At first, I found myself lacking my maker of tea, my blundering cupbearer, my cleaner of chamber pots. Now, I realize it's that I miss your, how shall we put it, glass half empty view of this world.
Charming to the last, Master. Hey, I know I gave you the 2 Teldrins, but isn't it lonely in the tower?
Well, there's the quest, and that demands my solitude. With you out there and I in here for the most part. Then there's my research, the endless reading, the occasional scheming. Oh, and Graham visits every so often.
Graham?
Oh, the dragon, sorry. When Jazargo informed me that you'd spotted him, the idea of you having an altercation with the thing kept me up at night. Haven't seen it in a while, though. Are you sure you haven't killed it?
I can't be sure of that, but why? Is he a friend?
We converse from time to time. Very interesting creature. Has a lot to say for itself. Not that you've been up there in ages, but there's a reason why I have a chair, a lantern, and a crate of wine upon the balcony.
I can't believe you've made a friend. So he actually talks to you then? It's not the first time I've come across that, but why do you call him Graham? If there isn't some great big secret about it.
Graham is the first word of his grotesque dragon name. You know, the kind you can only pronounce properly if you have a maw the size of Soon. It translates as Cloud Ruler Tempest on this tongue. Isn't it ironic? He predates Cloud Ruler Temple, yet by happenstance of prowling the Gerals he gained the name. And yet, that's where your trip to Helgen began, didn't it? On your failed, skooma-abusing expedition to Cloud Ruler Temple.
Right, so did you ask him where the dragons were all coming from? Are they coming back to life? Or have they all been in hiding? This is just what we needed.
No, we debated the representation of Akatosh across time. Or time across Akatosh, same thing. The theory of dragon bricks, and so on.
You've gotta be kidding me.
Breathe, Norton, and listen very carefully. Fate is inexorable. You've come this far. You will do what has to be done when it comes to prophecy, even if we are yet to understand the full extent of it. By now, you must know your fate as Dragonborn is not yours to command. Akatosh will guide you now as he has guided you thus far. Take comfort in that.
Do I at least get to meet this Graham?
Even if he isn't already dead by your hand, probably not. He's not very fond of you.
Hey, what have I done? Why not?
Oh, it's nothing personal. Well, it kind of is. But I thought you'd understand. Ponder this. Just how many of the dragons you've met so far would have loved to have gotten to know you a bit? But how many of them were overruled by their inner nature and had no choice but to challenge you instead? You're the Dragonborn, devourer of souls. You issue challenge to your fellow Dove without even knowing it. So as far as Graham goes, and the countless dragons you've failed so far, It's in his nature to ignore reason and fall foul to the urge to fight you instead. He's not strong enough to resist it. It's who he is. I thought you, of all people, would know about that.
Right. Of course, Master. I suppose I should be leaving soon.
Yes, I suppose you should.
I can stay for a chat, if you'd like.
Oh, if you insist. How about a mug of that tea you used to make for me? Get the water boiling while you stock the vault.
I thought you hated that tea.
I'm a masochist. What can I say?
Huh. At once, Master. There's your tea, ready to pour, just how you like it. What's on your mind?
Oh, nothing in particular. There's so much reading to be done of Tamriel. The endless cultures, the wine, the cheese, the traditions, be it backwards and rock throwing or forward thinking and end of time bringing. But here's something that I pondered for a while now. You're not a very good Dunmer, are you? You sound like one, but you don't talk like one. Your name is unusual, but not completely unconventional. You're probably wondering where all this is coming from and why now. I got talking to some dark elves when I was out scouting for the Nightingale gear, and it made me think. I've never heard a single Sarah out of you. Not even an Enwa.
Well, that's because I've spent 20 of my formative years here. Come to think of it, if anything, I talk like you.
Ha. Hence all the hells and earths. Of course.
And who talks like that anyway? Is that a Breton thing? Or something along those lines?
In a way, I suppose.
And you're hardly very cultured yourself, are you? The only things you seem to be bothered about are the artifacts and Akatosh.
My dear Norton, the only thing worth worshipping is time. Akatosh is how it is manifested here. Ideas and technology shift from place to place, but time is the constant. If there's one thing you should remember me by when I'm gone, time ought to be it. You still have questions, don't you? Go on then. Go.
What happens after the quest is finished?
I leave.
Are you somehow trapped in this tower? You said someone's watching us?
To be brutally honest, more than you could possibly imagine. All will become clear in the end, but there are exceptions as for when I can leave, and when I can finally leave. I can visit places every so often, hence the likes of the Blade of Woe, Jazargo's portrait, and a few other ventures here and there. But it's under the strictest of circumstances, meticulously controlled. My turn. What is the one thing you want in this world?
To atone? To not be alone?
And to be a poet, but you just don't know it. Norton, expand on that thought.
After all this is done, I've spent so much of my life looking backwards, I've never really looked forwards. I just want to live a simpler life in obscurity. To be honest, if nobody saw me again, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
The quest is the only thing keeping you from going full-blown nihilist. You're helping me, Norton. I don't know how I will ever be able to repay you for what you're doing, but despite appearances, it means a great deal to me.
I know. I think I've always known. What's the one thing you want in this world?
Aside from eradicate that aroma of wet dog that clings to you, first death, now dog. And don't think I don't know what that means. And to answer your question, honestly, to go home.
Is this tower not home? You've been here such a long time that I've barely even seen you leave.
No.
So, what's stopping you?
Think a little. Extrapolate.
The quest. The artifacts. You need them to go home.
And so we come full circle. Thanks for the tea, Norton. Now go. You have work to do. Oh, And you better have dropped off those Elder Scrolls this time.